Hi Templars, this is a playthrough of the tutorial 4th level, the last level of the tutorial, Extermination. A pretty difficult level. I'm playing to show how to get through this level and talk about some of the really hard spots. The objective here is to get to the 3 primary objectives where the aliens have infested the cargo hold and slaughter the egg sacs, and then you beat the level. It's really important. This is a later level in the series, so make sure that you've spent all your AP. That's very important. Also, make sure that you are purchasing and using extra ammo kits. They'll really help you out in this level, so I'm going to buy one, and I've already actually got one ready, but I'll show you. If I go into my captain's gear and open his war gear, I have this ammo kit ready, which I'll unready. Now I have 2 of them sitting there. Again, I'm going to use the item that brings it into ready. That's going to give everyone plus 25% ammo, and this is a long level, so that's going to help a lot. Okay, we got 2 and a warrior and a scout captain. On this level, you really just want to start quickly. The aliens will move very quickly, especially in brutal, so there's no particular reason to waste your first turn, so don't dare dally. I am of the mind to split my forces. Now, don't let the captain, go quickly, but don't let the captain get so far ahead that he's at risk. Always want to keep your soldiers together. That's very important. The hard part in this level, as you can see, there's already aliens, so they're very, very aggressively on your spot. So I'll trigger this dialogue and bring up his scout companion, and these 2. I'm of the mind that the team should split for a level like this. It helps a lot, in fact, to get let's hope there aren't any southern aliens, especially in this level where you have really 2 northern objectives and 1 southern objective. What I'm planning to do is to actually take the captain and 1 scout north and a scout and a warrior south, and let them have a run at taking care of this separately, because it just takes too long to do this if you go together. It's safer, I agree, but it just takes too many turns and too much ammo, and there's little hope of actually getting it done. Now, what you'll see me doing throughout this entire level as I push forward here is to always rely on the farthest back Marine to use his phalanx fire to open up the way for the next Marine. So it's really important to be getting the front Marine as far down the hallway as you can safely. So therefore he's always going to rely on the Marine in the back to take... Ow, I already got thwacked. That was a painful start. Again, here we go. I'm relying on the Marine in the back to open up the space. And I'm going to go a little slower now because I've already taken some pretty heavy damage to Saffon. And here we come up against the first corner. Now, this is where the real tactical tricky parts are. And this is where I'm actually going to go slower on both squads, and probably the southern squad, because it's just there's no captain with them. They'll actually go really slow. It will take them a couple of turns to get around that corner. Again, using phalanx fire to hold off the enemy. And once I'm in the corner now, so I'm already at the risky spot, and I might as well move as fast as I can. What I'm trying to do once I'm in here is to clear the corner as smoothly as possible. The corner is a very dangerous spot in these levels because you've got aliens coming from both directions. So for a 2-man squad, that's pretty hard to stay completely safe there. So you don't want to waste any time getting in and getting out of those corners. Good shooting, luckily he had enough AP and got a soldier's special point. It's able to keep blasting. Now, this is exactly, let me just take a moment to show you this formation in the corner. This is what you want. Marine 1 is headed down the hallway and gonna hold that way. Marine 2 is currently holding north. And what you'll see next turn is I'm actually gonna start collapsing the squad. The captain will go forward farther, and the other Marine will turn around and start following him in a protective stance. So if I can survive the turn with everybody intact here, we're going to start that maneuver. Pretty hard maneuver to pull off, but if you are very aware of what you're trying to do, it can be done. So this looks a little crazy, but I'm going to start backing him up so that I can hold the aliens that are coming from the top and give the captain the defensive power he needs. Well, that was a lot of bullets. It's pretty unfortunate. This is going a bit slower than hoped, but those two will just have to hold. They ran out of AP to be able to go in there. It's not worth going into that meat grinder if you don't have the AP to clear it. I'm a little worried about my rear guard, so I'm going to use my special on him to give him 2 AP, so that when the alien comes for him, he'll be ready. He'll at least have a shot. And he got it. It didn't do him any good, but the turn ended, so got lucky. Again, always try to use melee if you can. Always deal with the dangerous alien first. Now that pot just spawned, so I'm actually going to try hurrying him along because I really need reach the captain now. He's got to help the captain get embedded in that egg area. The goal now, and again we're kind of slowly edging into this, we still have a lot of ammo, and you got to remember this pair of 2 only actually has to deal with one egg sec, so they don't have as hard of a job as the captain does, so they don't have to rush, and they won't need as much ammo. What I want to do, there we go, knew you were coming, that's unfortunate. How many do you have? Oh, shoot, that's bad. Try that, see if that's any better. Nice shot, perfect. And the captain's gotta switch to his pistol, and again, just trying to be careful here. This is the second most dangerous part of the level, is right here. There's going to be aliens coming from behind you, from the east, from the north, and from the west. It's really hard to get safely. What I want to do is get my captain down there for a couple of turns, all by himself with the eggs. That's very difficult to do without losing this Marine who's in the hallway. I'm thinking about how to do that. Every time you have to look at it a little bit differently because it has to do with just at the moment you arrive, there's no real time to dally because you need to go. So you've got to. So now I'm taking this corner. So now I have people facing both directions, and next turn I'm going to start the fireworks of trying to get them actually through it. I think if I wait any longer here, I'm going to have a problem on my hands. So the captain is a scout, has a lot of AP, so he can do a tricky maneuver like that and still have some AP to defend himself. And I'm bringing Logan forward again. He's got a nice corner spot. Now they're holding that. Hopefully no alien shows up behind them. If they do, it looks like there's one coming. I saw him for a second there. They'll have to rely on the captain's special, or next turn we'll have to try some dramatics. Yeah, there he is. He's definitely not going to wait for me. There we are. We're in trouble. A couple of directions. Now, here's the situation. If I stay where I'm at, I'm dead. And we have to get these eggs. The number one thing... Oh, come on. That's kind of killing the buzz kill. Okay. Now I'm in trouble. The captain really wants to go down that hallway and kill the eggs, which are just out. But he needs Logan to guard him and not get murdered while Logan does it. So he may actually... Logan is in a bad spot anyway. Gonna give Logan his special. Logan's gonna turn around, and the captain's gonna come out. And we're gonna have to abort that entrance. It didn't work. Sometimes you gotta do that. It's more important to keep a Templar alive than to rush a situation. So now you can see my tactic on taking this corner here. I need you to kill. Thank you. Alien. Now we have the corner again. We're moving very slowly. I'm not trying to get out of the corner yet. I got maybe another turn or two in the corner. And now we're just hoping that the captain and Logan are doing that kind of thing. We need them to be pulling heroics to get a shot at this. Alright, so now they have a short reprieve. And in this part of the turn, the turn's progressed enough. I know there isn't another alien appearing, so I'm going to move him. I know that Xavier is safe, at least for a second. Safon, not so much. Now, again, we got... here's where we just have to rely on the fact that the captain, he's got business to do, and Logan is going to have to do some pretty amazing firing. He might have to take a hit or two. The captain needs a turn or two. They're going to do what they can. Already alien coming from that direction. So this is, again, the really hard point of needing to kind of... I need to be able to back Xavier into this hallway. So currently they're kind of stuck. Need to pick it up with the extended ammo. We're running low. So here we go. Again, absolutely saves the day. And Xavier makes it as well. So now he's spending every AP he can because they need to get out of that corner. At this point, it's getting bad enough that I'm going to have to start kind of risking Templars. And you can see my captain is almost done with the exec in a turn, and what I need Logan to do is just hold that. He's got aliens that could come out from 3 sides, and he's got 12 bullet needs to hold. These guys are both running desperately low on ammo, so I think I should have probably spent the money to buy the 50% bonus ammo, but now is the time to not waste time. So here we go. It's going to be a rough turn. Might lose a Templar or two to get through this. The mission is most important. Okay, so you can see the strategy working here. Well, if I'm brutal, but you have a soldier holding the mouth because you could have enemies coming from 3 directions, and the captain is getting his work done. Down here we have cleared that corner. I don't know, if we get unlucky and an alien spawns down that hall, we're really big trouble. But for the moment, it's looking pretty good. Ow, he did take a pretty solid hit right there. Okay, now this is really important. During this mission, you need to get all 3 dialogues at the back of the execs. So that means you have to have killed all the execs to be able to access them. But if you don't get them, you won't beat the mission. So that's really critical. We're working on making the level better to make that not such a big problem for people. So now you can see we're in sort of a sticky situation in that Xavier has 2 bullets left. Safon most likely is the one who's going to have to finish, and Xavier may be fists holding the entranceway with his fists, so it's not the best. And now I'm thinking, should I just bomb rush him? The situation isn't going to get any prettier, so he's making a run for it. He knows how desperate this moment is. Xavier still has some... Oh no, I touched. Xavier just lost his turn. Very bad turn at that wrong moment. Be careful with your fingers and Templars. So here we are. Logan can see the deadly alien on the way. I'm really hoping that that alien decides to go after Xavier instead of Saffron. We'll have to see what the AI does. There you go. Good choice. Okay, so now we're back at a point where the captain can help. He has a lot more AP, and like I said, we want to rely on our phalanx fire at all times. So here we are now. It's really critical that we clear this corner, so Logan is making a push for it. It's looking pretty bad for our combatant out here. Xavier, he's got a bullet left. It's not exactly the situation that we were hoping he'd be in, but they're coming for him for both sides. He's going to have to do what he can to hold out while Logan or Saffron finishes the eggs. Hopefully got enough bullets and enough strength left to do it. Captain is going to come forward one more, and we're going to call it a turn. Again, this is brutal. It's hard. There's no real other way to say it. It's really hard, and I'm scraping through, and that is enough for me. There you go. Xavier survives the turn. Pretty impressive. And the captain slays. And now this is where things get pretty variable. The AP equation is really starting to turn against me. The aliens could come from any hallway. My best strategy would be to back the captain in, but that's going to cost a lot of AP. I think he may hold and then try to follow next turn. Well, he's going to go for it. He's a scout. Now he's in a really dangerous position, but I think that's the best spot I can leave him in for the turn. I don't want to send Logan on a death mission. There's probably an alien in that dark spot. Xavier is fighting for his life out here, and it's not going well. Saffron is trying to make good on that and needs some critical hits. And he's done it. Now he just needs enough AP to cross that line. And I think that'll be the turn. Hopefully the captain doesn't get jumped from two directions, like Xavier is. There we go. So, as expected, there was an alien up there. It would have been a bit of a suicide to come right around that corner. Not that this is that much better of a situation. But at least we know he's coming, and he's not attacking me from the back, which is about as bad as it can get. So, if we can just survive the turn, which we managed to slip through, we can get the captain back in effect. And what he's going to try to bring to the table is the point of phalanx fire, shooting around his friend Logan, who will now kill the alien and gets 1 point closer, 2 points closer. Xavier is making an absolute showing, but on brutal, he's already been grievously wounded. He won't survive the level. What he has bought us enough time that Saffron has opened up the completed the southern objective, and now it's all up to holding and getting the captain across the finish line. And there's Xavier down. That got bad. All Saffron knows is that there was a blur of alien, and they were the captain is unfortunately kind of behind Logan, so I'm going to have to rush with Logan, and the captain is going to have to start some more defensive fighting here in the hallway to try to keep the xenoforms at bay. And he's about as good of a position as he can get. I'm going to let Saffron sit, and hopefully his distance from the aliens will buy him a turn, maybe before, no, not even a turn. And he's just out of range, so unfortunately they're on him. so fast. These uniforms move so quickly and brutal. You really have to be on point the entire time because they will come from range to killing you in no time. So we've already cleared the first egg sack. Now for the captain's safety, I want to get him into the room, so that's probably pretty good. The closest alien coming is going to be from the north, and hopefully we can now get some vengeance for our fallen brother Xavier. Down south, we're so close. We just have to clear that last egg sack, and we're out. Captain keeps using his sidearm. Is exhausted and is stuck with just waiting for the alien to close with him. He'll get one swing before the alien gets a swing, and you can see they're coming in on all sides now. And Saffron has very little hand-to-hand training. He's a gunner, a scout, and his crackles out. Bad news, and we're down to very few bullets here, so realistically, gotta get close enough to be punching now. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Logan doesn't have the AP to trigger. The final event there. So now we just have to survive this single turn. Captain has his shot. Wasn't good, Captain. And Logan should be able to trigger the final one and at the level. That's brutal. We suffered 2 casualties. We killed over 40 enemies, and I hope you've enjoyed a good walkthrough. That's a hard level on a hard difficulty, and I hope it helps you beat it. Enjoy.